This is the very first foldable smartphone in the world with 3 screens. Chinese Huawei Mate XT Ultimate Design, and we will unbox it at the most majestic Chinese structure in human history. This is the Great Wall of China. The most premium red version, it has 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 512 gigabyte SSD here. They made it really beautifully. Look friends, I'm gently pulling this little thing like this. Okay, we will take this with us. Well friends, Huawei still doesn't know how to pack beautifully. Just so I can pull it, and ideally this thing should be in my hands. It unpacks poorly here. So, and now I will do it beautifully, right? Ooh, like this, I'm taking everything with me. We leave nothing on the Great Wall. In the box with the smartphone, they included branded headphones, a car charger, a power adapter, and 2 cables, a case, and ear tips. The package is fire. Chinese smartphones always impress in this regard, and I've had quite a few of them for testing. This is how we take it and unpack it. This is beauty, friends, and this is just such beauty. Gorgeous, just an unreal giant screen. Like this. Absolutely gorgeous. Damn, super. I really like it. The screen is so flexible that it just bent all the way. Well, let's turn it on. It looks just amazing. This triple and foldable screen, this is how it folds. Here is the charger, and we have the SIM card here. Here we have, accordingly, a microphone, probably speakers here. And here are the speakers again, a microphone. Accordingly, it unfolds like this. Just absolutely beautiful. This is a completely different user experience. It is essentially as thick as my Vivo. This is just crazy. So I have a whole additional screen here. This is just crazy. Now, of course, these smartphones are really top-notch. Well, shall we turn it on? And come on, buddy. Please turn on. I'm pressing here. Well, there we go. It's starting up. So we take it like this. Just a moment. Like this. And it's absolutely beautiful. Ultimate design. By the way, the operating system is not Android, but Harmony OS. I turned it on. Honestly, I don't really know what to do now. Oh, by the way, look how beautifully the language selection happens. Yes, so we just transition like this. We have the English language. Continue with the privacy data. Damn, it's huge. I'm just looking at it. It's like space, really another level. I'm used to my little one, but this is just unreal. I'm pressing skip. We don't have a SIM card. Oh, by the way, we can't continue without Wi-Fi. First epic fail. I'm sharing Wi-Fi now. Friends, we are at the Great Wall of China, and here they have 5G. It's just incredible. It seems like the nearest city is still far from Beijing, 80 kilometers away, but they have 5G here. I'm sharing it now, connecting, and the device activation is happening. So basically, everything is just beautiful. Fingerprint registration. So we're doing it right now. Well, obviously we're registering. You need to move it, not press it. Just move it in a circle like this. Face recognition. Let me enter my password. By the way, the front camera is on this screen. Meanwhile, the camera itself is interestingly implemented on this screen. All right, friends, I completed the first registration, and here comes Harmony OS. The design of the smartphone is definitely impressive. The guys from Huawei have packed a full-fledged powerful tablet into the size of a smartphone. Honestly, I must say that the impressions of such a form factor are extremely positive. Both in folded and unfolded form, it looks stylish. I like the back part and the camera module, and overall, I have no complaints in this regard. In hand, when folded, the Mate X feels comfortable. You can use it with one hand without any problems. I can reach all the buttons. The size is comfortable for my hand. Let's talk about the most interesting part, the screen. The Huawei Mate XT features a 120Hz OLED display. The screen size when unfolded is 10.2 inches, and when folded it's 6.4 inches. I'll share a bit about my personal impressions. This is something completely new, a totally different user experience. My daughters, for example, watched cartoons on it during trips, and this smartphone easily replaces a tablet. After all, it has a 10-inch display, and I find it extremely convenient to work on such a smartphone. On one part of the screen, I can check videos and look at other tasks, while on the other, I can give my comments in work chats. It's very convenient. This is why I love foldable smartphones. But with the Mate XT, the convenience of work has reached a new level. It's pleasant to use. The picture is bright and vivid, and you simply don't notice the crease when using it. Here, I would like to say a few words about multi-window functionality. Huawei allows you to have up to 3 windows on the screen at the same time. One takes up the entire screen and 2 additional ones at the top. For comparison, the latest Samsung Z Fold allows you to open up to 5 windows simultaneously. Fortunately, in this regard, the Mate XT certainly falls short of its competitors. At first glance, the screen is, of course, just out of this world. I mean, the folds are, in fact, almost unnoticeable. Here I am looking at the screen like this, and I don't see the folds. Everything is just magnificent. It looks simply cosmic, and it folds. It's just out of this world. So I folded one, now the other. That's it. Everything turned off, and now my smartphone activates here accordingly like this. But what's cool is that it's a screen, and it folded. To be honest, I think this thing isn't durable. I will definitely actively test this smartphone to gain some experience later. Because of course, what? Did they do it? The company Huawei made this screen bend like this. Think, damn, it's just so-so. But on the other hand, I see that they protected it from all sides, and most likely dust won't get in here. I remember with Samsung, starting only from the 5th version of the Galaxy Fold, that I actively used all generations of Samsung, and only from the 5th version did dust stop getting under the screen, and accordingly, the film stopped peeling off. I really hope that everything will be okay here from the first version. I really hope so, because the smartphone is super expensive. Let's measure the PWM coefficient of the new device. I'll measure on Vivo X Fold 3 Pro. At max brightness, Huawei PWM was 25.4%. Vivo has 8.2%. Let's reduce the brightness by 2. 4 and 5/10% PWM for Huawei, and 10.5% for Vivo at 20% brightness. The PWM for Huawei decreased to about 15.5%. For Vivo, we observed nearly 17%. The external screen of the Mate XT is one of the sections of the internal screen, so the PWM coefficient values are the same. The Vivo external screen showed 6.7%, 10%, and 16.8% at maximum, medium, and minimum brightness, respectively. Let's test the photos. The main camera on the Huawei is 50 megapixels. The ultra-wide telephoto lens is 12 megapixels. The smartphone is equipped with a single 8 megapixel front camera. Selfies in good lighting raise no questions. Although, in my opinion, it's a bit pale. Tried taking selfies against the light, and the result is worse. Dark foreground, the same unpleasant shades, strange skin tone, strong skin smoothing by algorithms. Portrait selfies also raise some questions. Huawei just went ahead and blurred my daughter Maya's hand, and overall the blur boundary didn't work perfectly. In some camera tests, I decided to compare the shooting quality of the new device with my regular smartphone, the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro. It is equipped with a main camera and an ultra-wide lens of 50 megapixels, as well as a telephoto lens of 64 megapixels. There are also 2 front cameras on the external and internal screens, both with 32 megapixels. The bokeh quality and blur boundary results were very similar. The main difference is in color reproduction. I personally prefer the warmer and more saturated portrait from Vivo, but that's a matter of taste, of course. Landscape photos from the main camera turn out to be quite good. The color reproduction of the cameras is close to natural colors, not leaning towards warm sandy tones like the iPhone, and not altering the image as much as Vivo or Samsung do. Although I personally prefer more saturated photos, but again, that's a matter of taste. But maximum zoom we can achieve on this smartphone is 50x, can you imagine? That is, on a smartphone, I really don't see where the ver frightening brings the truth, which we can do with Max Incomplete on a smartphone. He can even see a person. There, far, far away, a person is walking. Well, of course, the quality. Well, it's clear that, wow, no way. Look, it focused. This is amazing. It even tries to catch his face. Damn, they managed to put really awesome cameras here. This is just out of this world. 50x zoom in a foldable smartphone is quite impressive. You can see the person, the texture of the wall, and the steps as well. The strong work of algorithms on noise reduction and enhancement is visible. But there's nothing new here. This is a feature of all modern smartphones. I can't say that the quality of the 50x zoom here is significantly worse or better than that of competitors. It's mediocre, just like on other smartphones with the same zoom. Comparing the zoom with the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro, Here, the difference is noticeable only at maximum zoom. The details are better preserved on the Vivo and the image clarity is higher. There is an option to take raw photos. These are images that are saved directly from the camera sensor and are not processed by the smartphone's algorithms. You can edit such photos yourself in a photo editor. However, as soon as the light decreases, raw photos start to exhibit a lot of noise. The smartphone cleans regular photos from noise using algorithms, but here we get such a mess. So, we have the first test, 30 FPS. Let's see how the smartphone records. It's very interesting to hear how the sound is on the Great Wall of China, the most gigantic structure probably in the entire history of humanity, built by the Chinese. We will have a light test now, not exactly in super challenging conditions. I can't run here, but it's clear that the picture is shaking. I will probably go into a dark room now. By the way, I have the automatic flash turned on. Here. And how does this work? Oh, I'm in the tower. Ow. Friends, the flash turned on immediately, and now in theory, you can see me. Damn, Huawei is really impressive. This feature with the flash has made me very happy. Now the flash has turned off immediately. Of course, you shouldn't expect any decent results from an 8-megapixel front camera. Video is a bit blurry, there are noise issues, and the exposure fluctuates. No. Even with backlighting, the camera performs poorly, even in cloudy weather. I also tried filming myself with the front camera in good lighting on another day. And when there is enough light, the picture turns out to be quite decent, although it still struggles with backlighting. Friends, I am currently going down and filming with the ultra-wide lens. 4K 60 FPS. Damn, the beauty here is just unreal, as I calmly descend the Great Wall of China. We're walking. I hope the sound is recording well. Can you imagine how beautiful it is here? If I film myself with the ultra-wide lens, how does the picture look? I'm filming myself with the ultra-wide lens. I really like filming myself because the quality should be very good. By the way, it's convenient that I can now flip the screen. I will do that now. I just flip the screen and it's very convenient to film because I can see what I'm recording. Here I have this stylish Chinese hat since we are on the Great Wall of China. And this is how it all looks in 4K 60 FPS. The ultra-wide lens filming looks just fantastic. Everything is so beautiful. Now we are heading towards the exit and we have a gorgeous sunset here. By the way, the cable car is still operating. Filming myself and the surroundings in ultra-wide definitely looks much better. I really like the results in terms of color reproduction and image quality. I should also note that the stabilization works quite smoothly. We can assess it while going down the steps. Now I activated the main lens. By the way, it seems to me that the main lens is brighter because the picture has become really beautiful. I like how it looks, and everything looks wonderful. By the way, I will turn on the light here. You can even activate the light right away. Now there is more light on me. The flashlight shines interestingly. This is how it looks. The flashlight is bright and illuminates my face. I think the quality should be fantastic, and the background should be lit as well. Now I will try to switch to ultra-wide. Wow, this looks amazing. My face is lit, and the beautiful sunset is in the background. If I film with the flashlight on, I will turn it off now. Now I turned it off, and this is how it looks without the flashlight. Just how well the flashlight illuminates me. I will turn it on again. Wow, it looks great. Even on the camera, it seems much better now. Now I am filming myself at 1x with the flashlight on, and now we will turn it off. And this is how it looks with the flashlight off. By the way, at 1x, even with the flashlight off, the picture is still very good. But for the ultra-wide lens, I think it's better to shoot with the flashlight on. And this is how we film everything around. We have 4K 60 FPS, although it might be better to switch to 30 FPS now, because in reality, the light is getting less and less. But for now, we are filming in tough, challenging conditions. We're going down. Now, let's test right here. It's a challenging descent with really high steps. We could go to the cable car, as it says here, but we're not doing that. We're walking down. We need to go over there. Oh, it's tough conditions right now, friends. I am walking down a very dark corridor. Okay, by the way, I will turn on the light now. Cool. The flash is on. 4K, 60 FPS. The quality is just fantastic. The view of the Great Wall of China here is simply unreal. This is just next level, friends. As a result of filming with the main camera, the conclusions are as follows. Stabilization here seems to work worse. There is shaking and blurring, especially noticeable on the steps. Changes in color reproduction are visible. As for the challenging filming conditions, the video in the dark looks very weak. A lot of noise, blurring, and weak detail. And now filming with a 2x zoom. I'm walking and let's see how it holds the image. I'm walking right down the steps. This is what my shoes look like. I'm filming myself very closely with 2x. Zoom on autofocus, which I think works great. Earlier, the guys defended themselves here on the Great Wall of China. They had such cannons. When shooting at 2x, stabilization issues are more noticeable with every step. Otherwise, there are no visible differences in the image. Here, I would like to note the quality of the sound recording. It is quite decent. I tested the sound recording in a very noisy place in the Forbidden City, which was packed with tourists. We are in the Forbidden City, and behind me is the palace where the emperor lived. And everything looks so beautiful here. There are a lot of people. I'm filming against the sun, which is shining very brightly. Everything seems to look very beautiful, but it's much better when I turn towards the sun. Really like the picture like this. In all tests, the voice is heard quite clearly. In my opinion, the microphone works well, although sometimes the voice and surroundings are muffled due to the noise cancellation. So friends, this is how the shooting is done with a blurred background, but the light here is very low. Right now, I should be in focus while everything behind me is out of focus. My aperture is set to f2.4, so it's clear that this is an artificial aperture. But how well does our smartphone perform? Good or bad? How do I look? How does everything around me look? I hope it's all very cool. The shooting is in full HD at 24 frames per second, so I think everything should be just wonderful. This is our beautiful shooting. This is the aperture shooting. Unfortunately, the camera can only shoot with the main camera module, cannot shoot with the front camera with a blurred background. Regarding portrait video, I can say that Huawei performed very well, even in relatively low light. I didn't notice any problems with the blur boundary. The only nuance is that the stabilization is again a bit weak. The video jitters with almost every step, which looks unpleasant. Friends, I'm testing a cool shooting feature called dual view. So I'm filming everything around me and myself. But honestly, I see that the quality of myself is just sad, while everything around looks gorgeous. We are currently walking through some incredibly secret place, trying to reach the cable car to leave, as it will close in 20 minutes, along with our Great Wall of China. It operates until 6 p.m. The last one will probably leave at 6. We need to make it in time, or even earlier. Everything looks like this. I wouldn't recommend using the dual screen in low light, but the mode itself is interesting and may be useful for those who shoot a lot of vertical videos. Start with regular video. Here, it is immediately noticeable how much faster the Huawei camera adapts to changes in lighting. Here we can already see the sky, while the Vivo is still overexposed for a few more seconds. As we have checked multiple times, the Vivo camera algorithms are set to track people. And here, this light processing is likely explained by that. At the same time, Huawei shifts the focus to the sky, significantly darkening the foreground with people. Another challenging test. I filmed a dark room from a bright street, and the X Fold 3 Pro handled it better, while the dark part of the frame with Huawei didn't show up well. In another similar video, Huawei produced some blue glare from the incoming light, and the distant overexposed background is less visible. At the same time, it revealed the sky again faster than Vivo. Which smartphone's video do you like more? Let me know in the comments. Friends, I filmed all the camera tests in a rush and not as thoroughly as usual, because the camera of a foldable smartphone is still not the most interesting and important. But if you want to see a big and detailed camera battle from these foldables, give it a like and let me know in the comments. I tried to record a time-lapse in the evening, and of course in low light conditions, the quality of the time-lapse turned out to be quite poor. Huawei operates on its own operating system, Harmony OS. It has its own app store and completely lacks all Google services. Of course, you can install them. There are various ways to do this. For example, there is an option to use microG or Gbox, but it doesn't work as smoothly as one would like. For example, apps launched through Gbox can crash, and often they need to be reinstalled several times. Friends, if you want a more detailed video about different options for installing Google services on Huawei with a thorough explanation of each method, let me know in the comments. We will do it! Huawei is equipped with a HiSilicon Kirin 9010 processor. It has 16 GB of RAM. For my tasks, the smartphone's power is more than enough. But what will the tests show? Compare it with Vivo X Fold 3 Pro, start Geekbench tests. Mate XT 3168, X Fold 3 Pro 13868. It handled Antutu without any problems, scoring over 2 million points. However, the new Huawei simply crashed during the test, not completing it at all. Several attempts were unsuccessful. I also checked the speed measurements, Wi-Fi and mobile internet. The Mate XT only supports the Wi-Fi 6 standard. At the same time, my Vivo X Fold 3 Pro supports Wi-Fi 7. We measure the Wi-Fi speed one at a time so that the smartphones do not interfere with each other. Huawei delivered 145 megabits for download and 97 megabits for upload. At the same time, Vivo showed 429 megabits for download and the same 97 megabits for upload. In the mobile internet test, the new device showed very weak numbers. Only 5 megabits for download and 5 for upload. Vivo also did not impress, with about 10 megabits for download and only 2 megabits for upload. The battery capacity of Huawei is 5600 mAh and the maximum charging power is 66 watts. However, 66 watts can only be obtained when charging with the proprietary cable and the proprietary charger. I tried charging the smartphone with power adapters from third-party manufacturers, and with them, the charging was noticeably slower. Wireless charging of up to 50 watts is also available. The battery is generally enough for a full active day, but it should be noted that we have a triple screen here, which consumes power more actively than dual displays. How did I actually buy this smartphone and how much did it cost me? It so happened that my family and I were going on a trip with a long layover in China, where I started actively searching for the new device. It turned out that finding it even in Beijing is not so easy. The price that Huawei advertises on banners and in official stores makes it simply impossible to buy. Visited a bunch of brand stores, and it was impossible to purchase it anywhere. By the way, it was also not possible to touch it. All display models were completely behind glass, and whenever I asked to take it out and feel it, I always received a firm refusal. I was told that the smartphone could only be purchased through an online order, and the order had to be placed before 10 a.m., as the number of requests is limited each day. The hype around the phone is insane, and I basically had no chance. At the moment, even in China, it is very difficult to buy this smartphone at the official price. You constantly need to catch windows for pre-orders, which was very difficult to do, and we never managed to do it. We had to overpay by as much as 40% of the original price of this smartphone. The official price for the Mate XT starts at 19,990 yuan. In the end, I paid almost 29,000. Is it worth that much money? Let's figure it out. The main advantage is the amazing huge screen. I have already given it all my compliments above. The bezels around the screen are thin and the folding areas are inconspicuous. When folded, it is quite thin and doesn't take up much space. From a usability perspective, I really like this smartphone. Believe it is the future. A huge screen. It's a mini tablet that you always have in your pocket. You quickly take it out, open it just as quickly, and that's it. You have a huge tablet of over 10 inches. This is definitely super. The sound of the smartphone is also excellent. It has stereo speakers, and watching any content on it is a pleasure. I can't help but mention the packaging as a plus. It is very rich. And in the box you have everything you might need, even a car charger. I also like the case from the package. It has a stand, and the smartphone can be very conveniently placed on the table. The camera left mixed impressions. I wouldn't categorize it as a plus or a minus, but overall there is a decent main camera module with good shooting quality. It has a good zoom, up to 50x, and the color reproduction is pleasant with natural colors. But personally, I prefer smartphones that take more vibrant photos and videos, Samsung and Vivo. I also found the local focal lengths to be inconvenient. After using Vivo, the Huawei camera seems very lacking in terms of filters, modes, and features. Front camera is quite disappointing. It is the only one here, with just 8 megapixels. and it performs very poorly in less than ideal conditions. There are very few shooting modes in the camera, especially after my Vivo, which has just dozens of different filters, settings, and features. Here, Huawei has only installed one front camera. Well, logically, these cameras are essentially unnecessary here, as the smartphone unfolds into such a large screen. I honestly don't know why they only put an 8-megapixel front camera here. And the quality from this front camera is, of course, very mediocre. In total, the main camera block, well, it seems to me, on this smartphone, the camera is probably not the main feature. That's why I still use my favorite smartphone, the flexible Vivo X Fold 3 Pro. It has amazing cameras, the best cameras on the market among foldable smartphones. And that's why I mostly take all my photos with the Vivo. This is still Huawei, which means there are Google services here. Due to US sanctions, they need to be installed through workarounds, and they don't always work reliably. Sometimes they don't work at all, and you have to do a dance with a tambourine. We travel a lot, and for us, Google services are essential. A month has passed since I bought this smartphone, and I still haven't fully switched to it. Because here you have to search for these applications, it takes a lot of time, and we were traveling, so I didn't have time to set aside a full 2 days to properly configure this smartphone and start using it actively. I hope that I will have time to set it up and start using it actively, and then I can provide a full review of using this smartphone after some time. Another downside is the display. Yes, I have already praised it, now I will criticize it. After using flip phones for many years, the Huawei folds very awkwardly. Sometimes I catch myself trying to fold it the wrong way. Could probably break it, it's just a matter of getting used to it. But at first, it's very uncomfortable. Here I will also mention the external fold, which does not hide into the body when folded. It makes me anxious, and I worry about its condition in a month or two. Huawei has already had issues with folds in their foldable smartphones, so my concerns are not unfounded. I haven't used it much. I took it with me a few times while traveling, downloaded cartoons onto it, and let my kids watch them on the road. And I can already see that I have a scratch on this fold. On this fold there is even a small dent. I don't know how this happened. Either the kids pressed a little, or when I was folding it like this, some dust got in between that edge and scratched the screen a bit. But to be honest, I think such a smartphone won't last long. Those are my concerns. What else is inconvenient? It's its thickness. More precisely, its thinness. There are 3 screens here. They are very thin, and it's inconvenient to open them. You have to apply force, which is not desirable. That's why I prefer Samsung foldables. They are thicker than some competitors. But you can easily grab the edge with your finger and open the smartphone without any strain. However, the main downside is probably price. The Huawei Mate XT Ultimate design is very expensive. In China, the price starts, as I mentioned, at 19,999 yuan, which is about $2,800. But for that price, you won't be able to buy it. I paid almost 40% more in Beijing, as I mentioned. Friends, the main question is, would I buy this smartphone with 3 folding screens for myself now? And my answer is definitely yes, but not at that price. Every dollar paid at the official price for this smartphone is justified. But resellers buy from resellers and mark up even 40% in China. Friends, if you find this video useful, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments what you think of the new Huawei Mate XT Ultimate design. And goodbye.